Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. My name is Lucas and today I'm going to show you how we can build a lovable service business, right, from the ground up, meaning we see other competitors, we see what type of services they're offering, what type of businesses they're working with, what type of solutions we can build and for what type of business, right? That's a big point, right, to pick our niche. So we're going to be doing that. Then we're going to be building the solutions using Lovable. So we're going to be building some three, MVPs or little solutions that we can kind of use in our portfolio, right? We're going to be building our portfolio and yeah, that's pretty much it. Basically creating like a little foundation for you to use to actually go ahead and look for clients or look for people that need your service when it comes to the Lovable.dev world, right? So if you're interested in this video, please tag along and let's get started. So some of the examples that I've seen recently, one in particular is this agency called Cream.digital, or how I like to say it, Creme.digital. And they help businesses scale with AI, but I've basically discovered them in Twitter because I guess the owner of this agency, he had like a viral tweet one of these days where he was talking about he made a lot of money with building lovable apps. So that's kind of something that inspired this video, by the way. So I checked out his agency, was basically looking at what he does, their solution, right? How they work, what type of clients do they work with, and what type of solutions do they build, right? So if you scroll all the way at the bottom, you can kind of see that they have different use cases ranging from front-end development to MVP development, building internal tools, rapid prototyping, right? So these front-end development I see more as a general, retainer type of client work that you'll be doing after, the beginning, which is basically trying to sell clients solutions, right? You can sell them MVP development or internal tools, right? Internal tools, if we click on this, you can kind of see that these internal tools mean CRMs, right? So building CRMs for different types of, for an HR team or for a sales team, for example, or a marketing team, management tools, data mapping tools, dashboards, right? All of these that can be built in Lovable. And MVP development would be, I guess, more for individuals or businesses that kind of want to, stretch out a bit and build something new, right? They don't want to pay a development team or a expensive developer. They would rather, create some type of MVP that actually works so that they can go ahead and get some funding to actually pay for a developer, right? So in Crem's case, they've created custom marketplaces, social apps, education apps, right? I guess this is like with courses and stuff. Social apps would be some type of notification and posts, right? And financial management apps, also cool. Basically helping people with banking and lending, right? Interesting. And another agency that I discovered was Digital Scientists, and they actually also do quite similar things. They do MVP development, but they also do platform modernization and innovation as a service. And they are not really working with Lovable, but they're more of a development team. But it's just cool to kind of keep in mind what type of services they provide, because you can provide an MVP development service for, built with Lovable. And they build and launch in 8 weeks, which is pretty cool. And you can kind of get a glimpse of their pricing, right? So 25K, 75 to 100, and around 200K, right? So, and all of the different things. So they create different use cases and workflows, personas, complexity, app complexity, integrations. So this is 0 to 1, which is kind of crazy. Apps and ecosystem, so web and mobile. So yeah, you can go ahead and look at these different competitions or different existing agencies. I wouldn't call them competition because they're pretty big, but that's a great place to get started to look for that type of information. Now, the next thing that I want to see is what type of person or business are these two agencies working with, right? So if we go to Krem's page and we go to the bottom, we can see solutions for HR teams, for sales teams, marketing teams, startups, enterprises, right? So you have a kind of general, field here of different types of industries, right? There's not a specific industry. So if we go to HR teams, we can't really read if it's like a marketing HR. So this was a launch pop. I guess it's a startup, right? You can't really see if it's like for a specific industry. It's more for specific teams, right? So that's also important to keep in mind when building your portfolio or agency website, right? For digital scientists, it's more, we can see here services, industries, right? Industries, healthcare industry, logistics, public sector, right? So they actually do have specific niches, and then under each niche, specific solutions that are, quite common problems to be solved for each one of these three niches. And in my case, it's I'm just trying out this idea of creating a portfolio for Lovable, and I am located in this area in South Florida. And if you guys know South Florida, you can already see in the map a bunch of beaches. You think vacation. There's also a big real estate boom here. So you think of vacation and real estate, you think Airbnb. And then when I think Airbnb, I think of Airbnb owners. And when I think Airbnb owners, I think of their problems, right? I have good friends of mine that own Airbnbs, and they have specific problems in terms of management for cleaners, in terms of communication with their tenants, also in terms of upselling them something, maybe like a service, or maybe having partnerships with other businesses nearby, maybe like a restaurant that can provide some type of affiliate program, right? So these are different problems that I know are near me and in my specific community. You might have different things. I would just suggest you go to Google Maps, zoom out a bit, and kind of brainstorm. Okay, I live in the north. I live in Europe, for example. There's a big farming industry here, or there's a big wine industry here, or cheese, or I don't know. You can be creative. Think about your close network as well, and maybe family or friends that are in a specific industry, and you can create solutions for them, just so that you can, start ahead in getting your first testimonial or two. And if you're still stuck with ideas, I definitely I would definitely recommend you checking out ChatGPT, right? You can use Claude as well, but I prefer ChatGPT because ChatGPT has like a better, it kind of remembers your other chats or the context of other chats, which I like. So when it comes to brainstorming, in terms of text, I prefer ChatGPT. So I would use ChatGPT to just brainstorm a little bit more. Maybe you do have some problems that you might want to solve, but ChatGPT can help you in terms of thinking about more little solutions that you can add to your hypothesis, right? So I just wrote a very, vague message saying, what are several web app solutions that can be built to help Airbnb owners with their business here in Miami? So it gave me a few ideas. Cleaner and maintenance scheduling app. So it basically gave me the problem and the solution with some key features that we can use. So for the problem, managing cleaning crews between guests and checkouts, right? A platform that automatically syncs with Airbnb bookings, auto reminders, checklist templates. That's great, right? We have not only this one, but we have a AI-powered listing optimization tool for, I don't really like this idea, so we can skip it. Dynamic pricing dashboard. We have a welcome box and experience upsell portal, guest communication hub, smart lock, and much more, right? So you can even go on a deeper dive. So I chose about 7 of these to do a deeper dive into this. And it basically provided me with the problem, solution, key features, and monetization and tech stack, even with different integrations that we can use, right? So I ended up choosing a few of these. I ended up choosing the welcome box and the guest communication hub was one of them that I made. And this one as well, the analytics tool. And I think that's it. But basically, I was going through all of these, reading them. And what you can do is you can create separate prompts for these 7 ideas based on the following guidelines. So this link right here, if I were to open a new tab, it basically takes me to the prompt engineering page of the Lovable documentation, right? So it gives the reader a good, amount of information in terms of creating a good prompt, right? I give that to ChatGPT. ChatGPT basically creates a prompt for Lovable based on these different ideas, right? So I have 3 Lovable projects open here, each one with their own different project. The first one being design a guest-facing web portal for Airbnb hosts to share welcome info and upsell local experiences. So this is basically how it looks like. We have home, we have welcome back, we have experiences, right? So this is kind of like a little landing page that you can build with Lovable and use it for your own or for a client's own Airbnb places, right? You can also put these different things. So, for example, these are more very touristic places in Miami, and they're kind of far apart from each other, but you can actually, maybe even add some functionality to make it, to put some things here or events that are actually closer to the place, right? So that's one place. We have the beach, food, different categories. We have welcome back, where we have the check-in rules, the Wi-Fi rules, amenities, local contact, right? So that's really cool. The second thing was this one called tidy turnover. So this is more for the cleaning management. So design a web app that helps Airbnb hosts automatically schedule cleaners and log maintenance issues based on guest checkouts, right? So this is something, like a quick little facade. It's not really working. This is all just dummy demo. But basically you can read several details. You can schedule cleaning. There's some things here that we might want to add as well. That might be the next step, but just kind of showing you what we generated with based on our Airbnb idea, right? So the next thing is the AirTrack one, which is basically the financial dashboard. Build a web app that tracks Airbnb revenue, expenses, and helps hosts prepare for tax season, right? So we have dashboard with an overview, record transaction. So we have different transactions and all going to one central dashboard, which is here. We have our different listings, right? That shows the expenses versus income. We can click on them and kind of save different information. We have different reports that we can export, great, and give it to like an accountant, for example. So this is all great information that, or 3 great apps that we can actually build or use for our portfolio. And again, I think the next step here would be to, add some special functionality that you might want to add. For example, adding some AI chat here, for example, that an AI chat that knows everything about the specific property, and you can connect it to OpenAI, right? And I would say also is keeping the UI consistent throughout. Maybe you want to have like these are 3 branded products from you. So you want to have typography the same everywhere, color the same everywhere, and so that people can see your projects and know that you built it. Now, after adding all of that functionality or that consistent design style throughout your apps, right, which I find very important. In this case, we didn't really do it because I just want to show you the basics of creating a Lovable agency, right? But once you do that, and by the way, you can check out my other videos. I really go deep into adding functionality and adding, integrations into Lovable apps, so that you can learn that as well, like things like OpenAI, Perplexity, web scraping, and more, right? So once you do that, once you have something cool going on, I would suggest you go back to ChatGPT and you can gather the 3 different projects that you have and say, I want to create an agency landing page showcasing the following projects. So it basically gives you structure. And then at the end, what I did is I asked it for a prompt for Lovable, and basically in Lovable, it gave me it generated a page which might not be the nicest page. I don't really like this serif font or the color so much, but it still works. You can still use it. I just don't like it because I'm more of a designer and I just see certain things and I'm like, damn, I can make this look much better. And that's why I want to also kind of present to you to Framer. I mean, most of you might know it. If not, Framer is a web building tool with completely no code. It's all visual, right? It's very designer friendly. And you can use templates like this. This is an AI agency template, right? This is like a perfect one in this case. And you can just preview this, right? And you can go through it. Very nice little nav bar animation. Really cool sections. It's all just one page. So that's why it's for free, right? It has a very beautiful design, pricing section, testimonials, right? And you can use something like this to add your own projects, right? So we can, for example, in this case, instead of using these things, we can add screenshots of our projects, right? So that will be another way of basically creating this portfolio page. Another way of doing this is just by doing it from scratch in Framer. So what I can do is I can kind of select all of this until the very top, which is right here. Copy this, go to Framer, open a new page, a new file, sorry. Open the different breakpoints because we want to have this basically responsive. And I want to get a text element and paste the different text here. Now we have different styles. Let's just edit each one to be kind of white here, right? Let's go back here, back. Let's just edit everything to be white so we can see it. And we might go ahead and make this like a dark mode, right? I like the dark mode. So we can make this white, but maybe like 60%, perfect. There we go. So we have our structure on the side. We can make this a little bit darker and go ahead and get started with building. So let's just make this a tad bit darker because I can't really tell the difference. Okay, perfect. So, all right, this is the way to do it from scratch. We have the hero section, who we help, featured projects, and a good way of doing this is by using plugins, right? There are free plugins and there are paid plugins. I'm first going to show you the paid plugins. So, for example, there's Frame Blocks, right? Where you log in and you have different sections, and let's say you want to build a hero section, right? And we have different hero sections, and boom, we can go like this and basically add this. Just replace the text by double clicking, and you can also replace the image by going here and adding an image of your own interface, right? That's one way of doing it with these paid components. Another way of doing it is with free components. So there's Compa, which is one of my favorite component libraries. It is semi-free, so that means that there are several components here that you can use totally for free, which is amazing. In specific, the navbar, which is something quite annoying to build in Framer because it takes some time to build, but you can actually use it completely for free, like in this case. So I'm going to use this navbar. Then we can just go home, look at different blocks, go back here, click on hero, and choose something that we might like. For example, this one. And then, for example, for the featured projects, we can go ahead and go to like maybe content, right? And if I were to go like this, you see, we can still use this one for free, which is great. But some of them, I guess this one, for example, yeah, we can't use it. If I click on it, it says upgrade to pro, right? But there are a lot of things that you can use here that are basically for free, right? And it's great. And once we add the different components here, what we can do is basically, we can go ahead and add these different texts. So these are straight from ChatGPT. Again, I would totally recommend you guys just make sure that everything is correctly written. And let's just grab this, put this here, paste this like this, and then we can have book a demo, for example. and view case studies. So it's as easy as this, right? If you guys need help learning Framer, I have a bunch of good content about learning Framer. I actually have a Framer course that you can basically learn the interface and know exactly what you're doing, right? So this next one is who we help. So it's just basically filling out the gap and making sure that everything is set and ready to be, built. So after a few minutes of, touching up the design based on these different components, some of these are going to be good, some of them aren't, right? We can kind of see that we have these three different projects, right? So the design is kind of finished. Let's just say that it is. I know that it's just, it's not finished, but let's say that you finish your branding, you put your logo, right? You add your colors, your font, whatever. Now what we want to do is we just want to, create these different portfolio pages. So I would recommend using CMS for this, right? And then in CMS, you kind of build like a template page for each one of these. And you can basically just link them to your projects over here, to these different preview URLs for potential clients to see. And once you're convinced with your portfolio, let's say that you put it in your custom domain and everything, you want to start getting traffic. You want to start getting actual testimonials, right? Like I said, I have Airbnb owners that own different properties, right? They have real tenants there. They have real people coming in and booking. They do have these real problems. So I would go to them first, kind of test the solution for free for them, just to try it out, gather some testimonials, and then using a tool like Loom. So I use this tool on a daily basis for, talking to potential clients, for talking to my community and recording this. Loom is a great platform for this. And I would use Loom and I would basically create a list of different Airbnb owners that you can contact in your local area and basically provide them with a solution, right? Say, hey, my name is Lucas. I saw that you own these properties over here. I would love to present to you my product. And with Lovable, it's great because you can basically change the branding of here. So let's say that if they have like a specific logo, you can add it at the bottom. If they have a specific brand color, you can also add it to your product. So let's say that it's going to be red. You can basically just edit certain things to be red, right? If we want to make this a specific color, we can do so, right? We can even make it pink if we wanted to, right? So these are the different things that you can do. Basically recording a Loom, very personalized email attached with that Loom so that they can open it and kind of read or see what your solution is about. And as you start getting testimonial clients with your friends or your family friends or your close network, start doing this and start getting actual clients. So yeah, that's basically it. In a nutshell, we created 3 different apps today. We created a quick little portfolio, but basically just use this as a guide of how you can, of a good guide of how you can get started, right? And yeah, if you have any questions about any particular step in this process, please let me know in the comments below. I'd be happy to hear about that. And yeah, let me know if you guys actually built something for a specific niche. I'd love to know. If you do, please join my community. We're very active. We meet up every week. So yeah, guys, hope you have a wonderful weekend and see you next time. Bye-bye.